South America is a continent that is very dear to my heart. Home to more than 440 million people across 12 countries and diverse more territories. In my opinion, and also the opinion of many scientists, South America is a continent that holds collectively in one place the world's greatest wealth. And it's not mineral resources. It's not most of the things that we call wealth. It is actually the Amazon forest. And it's so amazing because the Amazon forest has the most biodiverse species on planet Earth, where you have mammals, you have birds, you have amphibians, you have all kinds of animals, all kinds of microorganisms. It is a bioeconomy that has not yet been tapped. And I'm not talking about the context of exploiting it, like what measure what is happening, right? I'm talking about cures to diseases that have not yet been discovered, because a major part of the Amazon forest has not been mapped yet. And so this episode speaks to every builder, especially builders that have ever felt drawn towards solving major health crises, health diseases, right? Neurodegenerative diseases, antibiotic resistant bacteria, all kinds of diseases that have plagued humanity. I believe, and I have also read and confirmed from research, that there is a high possibility that the Amazon forest has so many pharmacological solutions for humanity. And historic data proves it, right? So many cures to diverse forms of diseases and ailments have come from South American healers, South American researchers, and even foreign explorers, right? Foreign labs that have come to the Amazon basin to do extensive research. But there are certain problems, right? There are certain challenges that South America needs to scale. And so if you love South America, you love humanity, or you're a South American, I would love for you to let this episode stir you up. Let it encourage you. Because South America is very, very dear to my heart. I love the people. I love everyone. But there's just something about the people, about their smile, about their joy. It's a country that has a very intense economic inequality, right? Where you have people that are extremely wealthy and you have people that are just going through daily life. Yet, South America is the Lithium Triangle. It has the potential to literally become the Gulf states of the future in the context of how Saudi Arabia and fossil fuels, oil, petroleum, crude has driven the Gulf states to hold such geopolitical power. South America has that potential with countries like Chile, Bolivia, Brazil. These are countries that have so much lithium deposits, not just lithium, iron, a very vast deposit of iron ore, copper, niobium, rare earth minerals that are necessary for our full transition, green energy-wise. Presently now, Brazil generates 83%, sometimes 85% of its electricity from renewables. Same with Uruguay, that generates over 90%. And many other countries, leveraging solar, leveraging geothermal energy, hydro energy, and etc. I know that South America is not talked about a lot when it's like they're a quiet continent. It's either North America, and then you're talking about Asia, maybe China, you're talking about the Middle East. But there is so much treasure in the hearts of the people, in the diverse cultures, right? South America has a high level of diversity with transgenerational citizens that have existed in diverse countries, and then Africans that were shipped there during slave times that have now become indigenous. Also, people from Europe, from Asia. It's a rich heritage. And we know that when there is diversity, there is potential growth. And so what we need to begin to look at, if you love South America or you are a South American, is not how we can exploit the Amazon forest for timber and all of those many other things that goes on sometimes illegally, right? It is how can we use South America alongside other continents as a reset for man? What can we learn? What can other continents learn from South America as regards what they are doing energy-wise? Most countries power their nation entirely with fossil fuels, gas, crude, forms of crude, and etc. But South America is doing an amazing job, and there is more that can be done. There is so much more that can be done. When you look at the supply value chain, most times copper is exported from Chile, and then Chile imports copper wiring. Bolivia exports lithium and then imports lithium batteries. Brazil exports soybeans and then imports soybeans-based pharmaceutical products. So the question we need to ask is, how can we improve that supply chain? How can we ensure that, now I have nothing against international trade because it's very important for the global prosperity of the world. But how can we ensure that the countries that have this rich, permit me to call them green resources, or resources that have the capacity to drive what we want in terms of climate change, how can we ensure that the supply chain is expanded in terms of value? Because we know that every time a country does little or nothing as regards the supply chain of raw material to end product, they benefit almost nothing sometimes to compare to what they can benefit if Bolivia decides that they're going to start making the best lithium batteries in the world. Now, there are many countries that have lithium deposits, right? But presently, the lithium triangle, what we know from the data we have access to is that they have 58 to 60% of the world's lithium deposits. But most people do not even know. When you talk about lithium, they might think about China. Not because China, does not have its deposit, its mineral resources, but China is a manufacturer super country. So as a builder living in Bolivia, right, living in the lithium triangle, you're living in Chile, you're living in South America, or you love South America, you might not have so much capital. You might not have the kind of resource or even the political, because sometimes you need political relationships, not in a bad way, but in a good way, for you to begin to see how certain things that are exported majorly, that is benefiting the country, can be, not that the exploitation would stop, but what we export, what you export. Maybe you export 30% lithium at its rawest level, and then the remaining 70% is lithium batteries that power our cars, electric cars, our phone devices, our laptops, and even sometimes energy grid storage scales. And so I think that the world deserves to see and to enjoy the beautiful treasures, the beautiful wealth that South America has in her bioeconomy.